I had a step family in the family, and with my mum's new family and that, and we were under the bed hiding while the elder brother was looking us to have our bath, and he had this longboard and it had a point on the end, and he was doing this under the bed, poking to see where we were, and it pierced my right eye. I couldn't stop crying. I can remember the pain. And I said, I'm going back to nursing and I need a good eye specialist. I don't know any because I haven't been to any for years. He said, but I know a Macquarie Street specialist, and he's an expert in this field, and I'm going to write you out a referral, and I want you to go just to see what he says. He'd be more than happy to see you. And then it wasn't until I was going back to nursing that I went to see this eye specialist, and when I went in, he examined it and did all those things, and he said, yes, he said, you want to be able to see again, don't you? And I said, yes, but I've only got sight in the one eye. And I said, as a nurse, I used to have a Lambretta motor scooter, and I could take my husband to Coffs Harbour and back on it, and I never had any problems with my one eye. And I said, I don't want to risk my good eye because it's all I've got. He said, well, I wouldn't make a risk either. And I said, what would you do? He said, well, it'd be done in 3 stages. I said, I thought you were just going to do a corneal graft. He said, well, first of all, we've got to lower the pressure, remove the cataract, and just do a little bit of work, cosmetic work, and then the second operation, we'd do the corneal graft. I said, what if anything goes wrong? He said, well, why would anything go wrong? And I said, well, I've been a nurse and I've often heard of the wrong arm, the wrong leg. I don't want to take any chances, because when you've only got one eye, that's it. If I go ahead and have this surgery, what's the worst possible thing during the entire operation that could go wrong? He said, see that door? And I thought he was going to tell me to go. He said, no one's ever been through that door and asked as many questions as you have. I've told you everything you need to know. So I went ahead and had it. Following the surgery, I was told not to get out of bed, to stay there. I was there for 4 days, not to remove the patch, not to look and not to peep, to promise him that, which I did. So when the nurse came in to sponge me, I said, excuse me, nurse, do you know if the doctor spilled anything in my good eye during the surgery, because it's blurry? But when I got home, it just got worse, the left eye. And when I went to the Health Commission, he said this might be settled out between the Medical Health Commission as far as I'm concerned. On my way out, one of the solicitors said, Maree, you're going to need compensation here, and you're going to need a good lawyer. And one of the people at the Health Commission said, I've got a card here, his name is Tom Goudkamp, and he won't let you down. Go down and see him, he's working down there. I did that. And Tom looked after the case from then, and I was very, very happy. And we went to the courts. I won the first case. They appealed. The case that he was preparing, I had Tom Goudkamp, and Tom never missed anything. It's like if you go to a restaurant and you have a good meal, you're happy with the waitress, but the people in the kitchen that have prepared the meal, they've done the work. He had the best doctors that you could get in the land to help to speak for the case. And I just thought, if I didn't fight and it hadn't been for Tom, I didn't know someone had a right to take a risk on it. I only had the one eye and I was not prepared to take a risk. I had a very full life and there were so many things I did. I just feel by telling my story, the gift of sight, as it's often been said, there's no substitute for the gift of sight. I got 4 children and I was only in my mid-40s. I would have loved to have seen them get married, walk down the aisle. I've got 16 grandchildren. I love them all dearly. I imagine what they look like.